Hello and welcome to Fossil Arcade. Today, me and Alex are here to discuss F-Zero AX. We just went out to the Heart of Gaming Arcade in Croydon, London, and we played a genuine F-Zero AX arcade machine. What was your knowledge of F-Zero AX before this introduction to the actual cabinet itself?
I'd never heard of it.
Never heard of it. For Gamecube aficionados, people generally know about F-Zero GX. And when this came out, it had a companion piece, which was F-Zero AX, which was an arcade version. And it was actually possible to play the two and sort of share some concurrent data between the two by sharing the Gamecube memory card. But we're going to get into all that as we discuss our experience with the game, playing it for the first time today.
I think my initial impression and what I enjoyed about it most probably was the unit.
Right.
It looked really cool. And the chase, you actually have to put on a seatbelt, and so your chair...
It moves.
Yeah, it sort of pivots a bit, and it really throws you off. You get to the first corner when you play it, and you crash because you start turning and the chair moves, and straight away you just try and right it.
Because this is an arcade cabinet, it's shaped like the Blue Falcon. Captain Falcon's like a vehicle, and the controls is not a joypad. It's actual it tries to evoke the feeling of actually being in an F-Zero vehicle. So you have the actual steering wheel, buttons and paddles for drifting. It has that movement, which is kind of like a classic Sega thing, like old arcade cabinets by Sega, like Afterburner 2 and Space Harrier and Galaxy Force. They move, and it has that kind of movement. I mean, it's great because it doesn't play like F-Zero on the Gamecube or any other F-Zero that you will have tried because of the control scheme, but you still feel like you're playing F-Zero because it's the same game.
I wouldn't say it's violent, but it certainly moves. I think what it is it doesn't do any small movements. All the movements are large, so you can feel it, and I understand why.
Yeah.
But if you just try and cruise ever so slightly around the corner, it's going to throw you against the wall. It kind of has a 0 to 100.
Yeah.
And nothing in between.
It is very much like being on a ride. I wouldn't say full roller coaster.
No.
But like it is like the movement is so separate to your own actions as the controller that it's a completely unique thing that you're not going to get at home, obviously.
You know, it's not a negative to the game at all. It's a real selling point, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's
such a unique experience.
It's really
for F-Zero.
I guess it's been a while since you played F-Zero.
Oh, a long time. I don't know that I've played the Gamecube version. Yeah, I'm probably going back to sort of
64.
Yeah, 64 and Super Nintendo.
Sure.
But something interesting I think about AX was that when we went to the arcade, Graeme hadn't actually told me what we were going to play.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to be a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, and it was. I couldn't place the release of this game when I was playing it.
It looked so current.
Yeah, I started playing it and I thought, is this brand new? Is it 5 years old? I just couldn't actually, until you sort of told me. I think I might have seen it on the title screen or somewhere as well.
It says the copyright's 2003, so the fact that this was developed 15 years ago, and it still looks like spot on. I mean, obviously, once you get used to it, you can tell it's a little bit older. But especially having the genuine CRT screen in there, it looks exactly how it was designed to look. So you're completely taken in by its style and its appearance, and it still looks really, really good and sounds really good.
Yeah. Was there anything you didn't like about the game?
Not really. I mean, it's not that there aren't any detractors from the game itself. I think it is very, very difficult. But because we were fortunate enough to play in an arcade with free play, we weren't actually spending £1 per go on this machine. It was at the Heart of Gaming in Croydon, London. A really, really nice arcade. They've got a lot of genuine arcade cabinets there. And the way it worked is that we were able to just pay £10 on the door and just go as many times as we wanted. And I think that took away from the grievances I would have had.
Yeah.
But in terms of what's bad about it, I think that the tracks are very, very hard. The more difficult tracks are, you can say they're sort of designed in an arcade way to take money from you because they know that it's only going to be after your 10th or 15th try that you're really going to know what to do. Which plays into the fact there is a link between the Gamecube and the arcade machine. Obviously these were developed concurrently as a pair, and they do work together. You can take your Gamecube memory card from your home copy of GX and, in theory, insert it into the AX cabinet and take the content home with you. That content takes the form of 10 exclusive characters to the arcade cabinet, and the way that they're unlocked is you just play for your go and you race, and whatever racer you use be it one of those 10, automatically saved to your memory card. However, hiccup and unexpected development for us was that although I took my memory card with the excitement of taking this data home, the cabinet that's currently at Art of Gaming doesn't have that memory card functionality. So I spoke to the manager at Art of Gaming to find out what was the history of this cabinet and why has that functionality been removed. And he explained that the cabinet had a long history in several establishments. It had come from a cinema where people had been using the Gamecube memory card slot as a bin. And they'd been shoving like crisp packets and straws and things in there and just basically abusing it to the point where the slot for the card had become so damaged it had to be removed. He told me though that they believe that the overall component still works and it's only that little cartridge slot where the card itself will go into that requires replacement, and they're currently working to dismantle a Gamecube and take that cartridge slot and put it back on so it will work. There's a caveat with that though, in as much that this machine was Japanese region, F0AX, so all the text was in Japanese. I believe that even if they were to repair the cartridge slot as they intend to do, you would still need to bring Japanese region data with you to the arcade, because if I put this European data memory card into the machine, it may have suggested or automatically overwritten my data, or potentially just refused to interact with it at all. Gamecube memory data is region specific. Japanese has to go with Japanese, European has to go with European. So the manager was all very interested in what I had to say about Gamecube region memory saving and stuff, and maybe I'll be able to share some more information with him about that. But for now, the memory card slot is not working and you can only enjoy the game as it is in the arcade. It's totally free play and you can play as much as you want. And as we say, the arcade itself is really, really nice and well looked after.
Yeah, can't recommend the arcades highly enough really. I think
it's really nice.
Worth checking out, yeah.
There is a way to unlock the F0AX characters and courses on the F-Zero game simply by playing it. If you play certain modes and do very, very well, you can just unlock them just without even having to go to the arcade, which is just as well because F-Zero-AX is extremely rare. I'm only aware of 3 cabinets in the whole of the UK, but anybody all over the world who wants to get the AX content in their GX game, you can do that. As long as you're very, very good at GX, because it is extremely difficult. That they really would have preferred for you to put £1 into the machine and pay for it.
If you're a huge fan of the SO game and a completionist and you want everything, I can see that you might want to go in. And I agree that it's a fun way. Had I had all this kit at the time and access to the game, I probably would have done it just because I'd like the idea of taking in your memory card and putting it in the machine. That would make it really exciting and download stuff. It would have been
unique. Yeah,
I think at the time it would have been quite a good experience. But overall, just include these things in the game or make them easier to unlock. I don't know. I think paying £1 because it doesn't stop at £1, does it? You said it's £1 per.
You have to spend £10. Really. Yeah. Looking at it now, it's £10 DLC, which you can also unlock legitimately if you've got the skills. So it's not too bad. No. But what annoys me is that rarity. Certainly in the West, America and Europe, this thing is scarce. In Japan, back in the early noughties when it was new, I'm sure you could find one of these things quite easily, but not so simple for a Westerner. So yeah, put the effort in, unlock those characters. If you love F-Zero GX, that's probably going to be a blast for you. But there's also a little bit extra. If you can't be bothered, if you don't want to do that, there is a way.
Go on.
For F-Zero AX to interface correctly with GX, it would appear that the entirety of that arcade game has to exist on the disc. So, with an action replay, you can unlock the arcade game and just play the arcade game on the Gamecube.
So you already played it before we went
I've already tried it, I think. And we're going to try it here, so that Alex can have a few more races. To do this, you'll require a very specific action replay. As long as it has a memory card with it, which you can load your own codes onto, you should be able to get your codes online and have some additional fun with your game. I'm going to include the F-Zero-AX code here, so that anybody who gets hold of an action replay with a memory card should be able to do this. And this is the one that I picked up. It's a fairly common one, it has a memory card. So So just click Action Replay Codes, select the European region, and it's already on F0GX, so select there, and we want to check F0AX tracks. Cool, and just press start. It's updating the memory card data now, so we can play the F0AX tracks. And this is just going to load up the full arcade ROM, as it was in the arcade. You get
I recognise that screen.
from the arcade, and this is all.
What was it actually telling us to do? This game machine has.
It's telling you about the motion, so it's saying, you know, like.
Oh, to prevent accidents. See, when this was appearing on, it was appearing in Japanese, so I thought it was telling me to like press the pedal or something where it was flashing. So
Yeah.
Kind of start the machine.
So there's definitely some things where the arcade ROM doesn't work as well at home as it would in the arcade, because it's not that you would unlock this if you completed the story mode or whatever you have to do to get the cars and the cup. You would unlock those cups within the interface of GX, and it would be a separate mode within the game. This whole interface would be hidden away. Some of the graphics aren't matching up correctly, and that's because I've got F-Zero GX in widescreen mode. It's one of the few Gamecube games which has a native widescreen mode, but AX it's only in 4:3, so that's why you're seeing the sides here and it's not stretching out all the way. Okay, so this is the most basic track.
Few.
Yeah, so you go to compare the tracks, like how difficult is it compared to the actual arcade?
Well, I haven't hit any walls yet, so it's definitely different there.
Do you find that the drifting in F-Zero is kind of intuitive to you, or is it?
No, it isn't actually. I think my drifting I just compare to Mario Kart.
Right, you
it's
can
a bit
remember the
different.
F-Zero tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And
But just the controls of Mario Kart, how you drift in Mario.
it's not so much a drift, you're not getting a boost or anything, it's just a slight, like,
Yeah.
it's either for just very carefully moving across, or if the corner is very extreme,
Then
you can use it
works,
full
yeah.
tilt. And this is where the analog kind of buttons on the shoulders come into full play on F-Zero GX as well.
But already I can see that I'm doing a fair bit better.
Yeah.
You know, I'm keeping
Keeping
the,
pace.
the top tier
Oh,
racers.
that got a boost as well, so it's wider boost. Yeah, I'm not. The thing that I didn't get fully from the arcade game, and this is a criticism as well in some ways, is that I wasn't 100% sure where the time extensions come from. Because it's not like when you're playing Super Hang-On and there's like a big, like, this is your checkpoint, this is going to extend your play time. It seems to be when you go to a new lap, the time is extended, but then sometimes it's at other times.
Halfway around a lap.
Yeah.
There must be a halfway point or something.
Potentially.
I recognised them on a few of the tracks. You got to notice where it would happen.
Yeah, it wasn't
But
always
it wasn't like a big
100%.
gate, as you say,
No.
or flashing or something that would. So here we are. Look, I think I'm in first now.
Yeah, first lap 30. You've got, well, how many laps to go? You still have 4 laps to go.
Yeah, so I'm not going to. Oh, well, there we go. I'm in second now. Yeah, I think playing this now, it's just not as exciting.
Do you think you've been spoiled a bit?
Oh yeah, definitely by the arcade.
Final lap here.
And having played the Mario Kart arcade, I don't feel that way. I don't
The
feel
Mario
that,
Kart's less fun after playing Mario Kart.
Yeah,
GP,
no
because
way.
The parity is closer. The thing with Mario Kart,
I mean, the carts didn't move. The physical
No.
cart you're sat in didn't move.
but in that it feels.
First place.
Yeah, you did very well. It's a lot easier, isn't it, at home? But the thing with Mario Kart is that it feels like they keep the experience very, very close. Whereas in AX, they want you to. They know you can play the same game at home effectively, so they want to give you a reason to spend money and do it over. So, I guess that's why it's so different.
It's just funny looking back at a time when a game had to actually be hidden inside another game.
Yeah, I think it's genuinely hidden there because it's easier for programmers to take something wholesale and bury it in there so that a feature will work than. Oh.
Well, that was short-lived.
What happened?
But I didn't know there was just a hole in the track. This is one of the advanced courses.
As I was saying, it's easier for Sega to just take the entire arcade game and dump it in the game than rework it entirely so that, you know, it's more bespoke. Because, you know, why not just save some time and just do what's easy? And I don't think they ever really foresaw that somebody would be able to get in there and find these components and run the game as though it were in the arcade cabinet. Did you try this course in the arcade?
I think I did. Yes, I did. Yes, and I think it's the one I played that ended up making me feel quite motion sick actually.
Oh yes, you mentioned that you were feeling.
I couldn't
well.
play it again after that.
How long was it between you feeling okay and unwell? Like how long did it take before you were like, this is enough?
Maybe about a minute.
A minute? I mean,
Well, maybe not a minute of the course.
Yeah.
I was okay playing the course. It was as soon as I finished.
Oh, and you were
And
out.
then I looked up, I thought, I think it might have been actually as soon as I crossed the finish line, so I guess it was as I was racing on it. But because you get to the sections where you can actually rotate around the track, that made it, and you're very close to the screen actually on this arcade machine.
Oh yeah, you
I mean, you are on most arcades, I suppose, but I think I did sort of 2 or 3 races in a row, culminating in this track. Or a track very similar anyway, and it was just too much. And actually, even now, an hour or so later, I'm still feeling a little bit queasy. I feel awful.
Are you still feeling that the game is not as fun? Well, now that you're able to play this track at home and do better, is it kind of more enjoyable?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still enjoying the game, definitely. It's just missing that extra little ingredient which made it as much fun. I think I would enjoy this more, maybe not more, but I would enjoy this more than now, say, as a single player experience, not on the story mode as such, but I mean, I thought the arcade was more fun with a friend,
Right.
because it was a shared experience, and there was a lot to talk about with it, and even though you couldn't race side by side, I thought it was still quite good.
Yeah, it was a checkpoint.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, that one was a lot more obvious.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not. Maybe they're dynamic. Maybe they're not always in the same place.
It could move, yeah. Whereas this, I think, I don't know if I'd play it with a friend so much on like a 2-player mode or turn, one after another.
That being said, if they released even this onto Switch online, I would snap it up in a heartbeat because it's a really good game. Oh dear, taking too much damage. What's your overall experience? So now you play AX, you played a bit of GX. I mean, obviously it was the same tracks, but with the controls being different for the home version, what's your overall kind of thoughts?
I'd say overall, AX was the best experience. It's going to be. You can't beat that. And I think we were spoiled in the fact that we could just play continuously without shelling out more
it's
cash.
like free play.
So yeah, it's almost like having it at home in that respect because you can just keep going. I thought overall, I think the game is really good. AX, GX, whichever one. The experience is great. It just plays really well. It controls really well. It's one of those games which it's great for everyone because you can feel yourself getting better every race you do. And it was the same in the arcade. Every race you did, you got that little bit better.
Yeah.
You controlled it a little bit. You used your boost better. If we'd gone in the arcade and we'd come first every time,
it wouldn't have been as fun. Like any game, you want some challenge, obviously. I mean, even with the most basic course, it took a while to get into first place. I think it's good that they give you so many laps like that. Even the most basic one is 8 laps, so you get plenty of time to get into the rhythm and.
But the Gamecube version, it isn't easy. It wasn't as hard, but it isn't easy.
Still takes some
Definitely
skill,
isn't easy. And I think I probably would have been a lot worse had we just come straight into there and played this than having tried the arcade first.
It would have been interesting to do it the other way around.
Yeah,
but
it gave me a good grounding
Yeah.
doing the arcade and then coming here. But I'd really recommend to anyone watching that has an interest in F-Zero or arcades themselves,
Arcades as a whole,
if you can get there, if you can find one of these rare units,
Yeah.
definitely give it a go. It's probably one of the best arcade experiences I've had because I've not been on many.
Moving ones.
No.
It's a classic Sega experience in the arcade, which is so rare, like you say. So to summarise, go to the arcade and play F-Zero AX. If you can't, pick up a copy of an Action Replay with a memory card and you can play the arcade ROM on F-Zero GX, and it's almost as good. It's not as good, but it's still a lot of fun.
Just seeing it's quite quirky to have that on a home console
It's such a
experience.
curiosity. Yeah, it's really fun to do that. So we hope everybody who wants to has the opportunity to play F-Zero AX, whether it be in an arcade or at home on your Gamecube. It is possible. You can find a way. And I'm glad you had a really good time today. I definitely had a really good time. And thank you for watching.